Hi everybody, this is Tanya again, and we are going to be talking about relationship skills associated with social emotional learning. I've been calling them competencies in the assessment. The things that I like to point out before, like the things that we really want the students to develop, or whomever's working on relationship skills. We want them to build and maintain relationships with different people, different groups, different individuals, new people. We also want to make sure that they can communicate with those groups, express clearly their needs and resolve conflict. So this conflict resolution kind of thing. The way that you can tell if the students are fulfilling this learning expectation would be that they are communicating. They're using those communication skills and social skills to react with other people in a positive way. So they're trying to gain something, gain knowledge, gain growth, trying to move towards a better understanding between themselves, that self-awareness component that we worked on several series ago. And then getting to know these diverse individuals and groups and interacting with them in a positive way. We also can see gains and progress with students as they develop constructive relationships with other people in diverse groups, people who have different demographics, backgrounds, abilities, lifestyles. Seeing the students open up their world and their, creating relationship with them, opening up their world to some different idea that they never thought of. So going and talking to other groups of people and understanding them. And then also the students would develop an understanding of how to prevent and manage and resolve conflicts in a constructive way. So you can see this on the playground and in the classroom when there's a discrepancy between people. Maybe even if you're working on a project-based learning model in your classroom, then when they're working with people in the community, you can see if there's a discrepancy, a conflict. And I don't mean it has to be something huge. It just means this different person, this group of people, like a group of adults that are head of the library. And the students have to communicate with them, and maybe there's a conflict, maybe a misunderstanding. We have it all the time with adults. So the students could experience that as well. And so you can see the students making progress as they show that they have the ability to move through those things, either preventing them, manage them, or resolving those kind of conflicts that may get in the way. And they do it in a constructive way. So relationship skills is kind of my thing. I really enjoy creating relationships and connections between people. And that was the biggest finding in my research for my PhD, K through 12 engagement. I found out that people just wanted to have connections. They didn't want someone to be easy on them. They didn't want someone to give them the answers or give them a study hall and be their friend. They wanted them to make things intriguing because they knew that person. They looked at them and said, I know you, this is the best you can do, and I'm proud of you. Or I know that you can do better, and I want you to show that. I want you to move forward towards that, and encourage them in a way because you know them. So like this professional relationship, you're not being their buddy, their friend, you know them. You make that connection with them. And I'm sure a lot of districts are doing this now. One of my districts took the students' names, and every student name in the district, and put them on a piece of paper. And then they put them all over the huge auditorium, like just taped them up, all these names on a piece of paper. And then the teachers were to walk around and write down their name if they had some kind of connection with that student in the past, whether it be they know them, they felt connected to them. And then after all the teachers went around, and administrators and classified staff, everybody went around and put their name on a piece of paper, they pulled down the kids' names that didn't have a connection with anybody. And that's the way that they address the training for that social emotional learning and building connections and relationships, because it's important. It is super important. So the big thing with building relationships instructionally, so in an integration model, would be obviously cooperative learning. And most of our detailed, down deep, nitty gritty, crazy models of instruction that people might consider crazy, I don't. I think they should be normal, because research proves that the models of project-based learning and flipped learning, lab station, is a great way to learn in classrooms. It's the student-centered approach. So the way to integrate into your classroom already built lessons is to give them certain tasks in cooperative learning groups. When they're working on project-based learning, they're trying to figure out a direction in that driven question, that driving question. Then the students have to work together to resolve conflicts, move through challenges within that project-based learning concept. Conflict resolution, like I had said before, that's a lot of things that you already have in your classroom. It's recess, it's daily things, and how do they handle those challenges? And that's I've said it in every series up to this point in the social emotional thing, that you can just straight up teach people to be better people in relationships, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness. You can straight up teach a lesson on those things. But when you build it into your project-based learning model or your flipped model or your cooperative learning groups, you give them some kind of assignment or something to move toward, an action plan to maybe develop those relationship skills a little bit better. So the three tools that I'm going to be introducing in this lesson, Lucidpress. This is a new one for me, and I liked it, and so I thought that and Lucid has been out there for a minute. So Lucidpress is kind of like an extension of what Lucid has developed. And it's doing a news article, featured articles, so getting to know people and interacting with different individuals and diverse groups. You could have the students do feature articles on the new person of the week, or each student has to go out and interview someone that they don't know. They've just met them. So that would be a way to use Lucidpress and put together maybe a newsletter or an article about several people that you've just met and getting to know them. Goose Chase, some of you may have heard about that one. Goose Chase is a scavenger hunt app-ish. I mean, it's on the computer and it's on your phone. You can download it on your phone. But Goose Chase is where you can build certain goals for the students to complete those things, like a scavenger hunt. Go and find something that's hidden in the school. It could be, solving a riddle. But Goose Chase will allow the students to work together and figure that out. And the last one, Google Form. And this one's been introduced in our playlist before in our YouTube channel. But I'm going to introduce it again because I think it's a really great tool for creating circle time discussion. So if you give the form to the students to fill out, answering specific questions about themselves, then when they, one a week, one a day, whatever you want to do, that student is introduced and presents themselves to the class. You could even make a little game out of it, maybe add it to the Goose Chase option as well, where the students have to find out who this student is based on the Google Form entry. So it's like a registration form to get to know someone different or new. It could also be expanded outside the classroom, where the students have to figure out who that person is and get to know them. They're like, oh, I didn't know that the head cook was originally from London and really enjoys going to the Bahamas in the summer. So it's a nice way to develop relationships, but also to develop the relationship skills to allow the students to move into the future, being able to interact with people in society, in culture, in a more informed way. So that is the beginning of the relationship skills introduction here, I'm going to start talking about the tools, and I'm really excited about moving through those tools to help you understand how to integrate relationship skill model into your already wonderful lessons.